Hey guys that are in here, the two of you. Hello. I'm okay. So busy. Life is so busy right now. I'm trying to get so many things done in the amount of time that I have during the day, and it's taking way too long. I need more time in the day or less things to do. How are you doing today? Oh, well, thanks. Wait, are you talking about now? Hello. You're in your second 72 hours. Wow. No, it's fine. Okay. I'm only gonna do them once a month, just because I feel like that'll be best for me. I'm okay. Was just telling Dennis there, but he had me on mute. That I'm just really busy right now. I have so much going on. We decided where we're gonna go for our honeymoon. We have some things that we're needing to do. I have a whiteboard over there that has all the types of things um, that I have to do, and I'm just overwhelmed right now with everything. But just found, and I'm so amazed. Oh, thank you. It was 1 month ago since my last time. Oh, perfect. Nice. I'm gonna be doing mine the weekend of my birthday. Well, the weekend after, the week following after my birthday, I guess. Hello. Love my shirt. Thanks. I got it from Shein. Reminds me of the Rugrats 90s. It sounds like you're, yeah, that'll be June. I guess it would be the night of June 1st to June 4th or something like that. Thanks for your, aw. Well, I'm just glad that we have so many really kind people that are on it. If we didn't have the people in the group that we do, it would be so different, and I really wouldn't feel comfortable still having it, to be honest. Everybody's so nice. It's great. I really like all the kindness people bring to the group. The group wouldn't be what it is without the people, for sure. So, yeah. How was everybody's weekend? Sorry I wasn't able to do the video yesterday. I'm kind of thinking about taking my videos to once or twice a week, just because as it gets closer to my wedding, I'm getting busier. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 videos I have to film. So I have a lot of work ahead of me to do, so. You're dealing with a flood. Where are you from? Just a few of a lot. I'm needing to pre-film some, so whenever I'm gone for a week on my honeymoon, I will have something to post for you guys. So gotta get those filmed, and I have 2 I have to edit. So I have 17 videos and 2 that I've already filmed that I need to edit. Oh, in Chicago. I didn't know Chicago flooded. Do you need to count calories when doing ADF? You don't technically have to. I personally count calories because I like making sure that I'm staying where I need to be. I had to eat, drink on Saturday was a lot. Ooh, that does sound like fun. I've been doing keto and 16-8 for a month. I'm weighing in tomorrow. I feel so much better. Thanks for this. Aw, awesome. That's really cool. I'm glad that you find something that worked for you. You just sent me a message on Instagram. Okay. I will try to get to it. It might get lost. I get so many messages a day. Last I checked, I had at least 25 come in, and I feel so bad because I tell people, I'll get to your message, I'll get to them, but whenever I have 25 messages a day come in, it's really hard to get through all of them, and then people get mad because I don't respond, and it's like, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying. I don't have enough time in the day to answer messages. Ah, yikes. But you said it was Taylor, right? I believe. Taylor. I'll try to check it after this one. Who's Felicia Day? I don't know who that is. I'm plateauing right now, jumped on fasting 1st of May, and I'm down 7 pounds, but it seems like I'm not budging now. Is this from muscle growth canceling out fat loss? It depends on what you're doing. If you're working out, then there's a possibility for sure that you are recompositioning, which is fine. If you jumped on the 1st of May and you've lost 7 pounds, you've still lost 7 pounds for the month of May. I mean, just because you're not moving now might mean that you might lose more by the end of the month. That's a lot within the first couple of weeks of May. Hey Jody, nice shirt combo, thanks. Hi Rachel, hope you're doing good fasting today and it's a hard day today. Well, that's what we're here for, to talk. Kind of help us get through. I'm not gonna lie, so we're gonna go over the 7th chapter in the book today, but I read it on like Friday evening and I just basically had very little time to look over it again to make sure that I hit certain key points in this chapter. So hopefully I can remember what all to do. At this point though, it's kind of like setting up a plan for your fast, and a lot of us have already started our plan of fasting. So needed my fasting group fix. May's only not exactly. So you still have, 7 pounds by 19 days of May. That's a really good loss. How are you? I'm okay, thank you. Walking 15K steps a day, but was very inactive before. Yeah, that's a lot. Make sure that you are eating enough calories too, because if you're not eating enough, then your body might also be trying to figure out what it's doing too. I just got the book, but in audio, and loving it. I finished his other one about PCOS and it was great. Oh, good. I've not tried dry fasting. That's not something that I particularly am interested to do because I use water a lot to help me get through my fasting days. And I know there are some benefits behind dry fasting from what I've heard, but I like hydrating myself anyway. And I don't really know much about dry fasting. Hi from UK, listening to this book for a second time on Audible, not keto, vegan instead. Awesome. I'm not keto either. I now know what you mean by green tea making you nauseous. It makes me nauseous on fasting days now too. I wonder if it's like a different kind of caffeine or something. You may have already brought this up, so is there a video where you've addressed how to stay steadfast during self-isolation? Any non-stimulant appetite suppressors you can recommend? I always say coffee, water, you know the drill. I've been doing some more types of like brewed teas maybe, but that's kind of how I get through mine. Whenever I was doing my 72-hour fast, I found that pink Himalayan salt helped. If you're doing self-isolation and you're not wanting to leave your home, doing things to distract yourself like reading or exercising, watching Netflix, painting, writing, journaling, things like that. Just trying to keep your mind busy as much as possible will help you. I'd be okay with it if I'm eating though, so who knows? Oh, that's weird. Always have this doubt. Hopefully you'll answer. Have you faced I'm not even gonna try to say that word. My mouth's not working right now. When I started, I did not actually. Is that something that you're experiencing? When you trail run, what distance do you aim for? I usually do like a 5K distance. So I go about 1.55 miles one way and then I turn around and come back. I'm not sure how long the trail goes. And if it's like a 7-mile trail, I don't want to run that whole way because I don't even know if it like loops around where I go. I need to explore it one day, so that's something I'll probably do in the near future, just so I can see how far it does go, because I'm interested in knowing. So that way I might be able to run the whole trail and not have to turn around and come back. I love it though. It's so much fun. They say cinnamon helps. Cinnamon, that is a good one. You can grow into the trail. I know, that's very true. I want to see how far it goes first, though. You know, I don't want to get like lost. I get shin pain when I run consistently. After about 3 weeks of running once a week, it happens. That's interesting. Definitely rest that for sure. I've experienced that when my first, now it's gone. Oh, okay. How do we drink the cinnamon though? Yeah, I put mine in coffee. Usually. I think you can add cinnamon to some teas too. I don't, like maybe an apple brewed tea, add some cinnamon to it or something like that, but yeah. Everybody loves the shirt. I do too. Reminds me of the 90s. I feel like I had something like this when I was a child. I think it's for appetite control. I know it helps with that. Your go-to drink. Thanks for helping us. My go-to drink, I always have my giant water bottle with me. My coffee in the morning, try to do it black. Sometimes on my eat days I will put a little bit of heavy cream in it. Heavy cream over creamer. It's going to be better for you in the long run. Not all the stuff added to it and things like that. And if you want to add anything to it, you could add stevia to it, or you know, something like that. I'm trying to get away from like Splenda and things like that, those artificial flavor or artificial sweeteners, and stick more with something like stevia, personally. But I used to love vanilla Splenda so much, and you could still do it, of course, but I just don't want to break my autophagy. I want to keep those results as long as possible, and stevia won't break the autophagy. Oh, Rainbow Bright. Oh, Rainbow Bright. I remember Rainbow Bright. I crushed my 5K. I'm so awesome. I've been super hard on myself this last month. Even though I lost 10 pounds, I try to remind myself of how far I've come. But last week I modified my fast way too much with heaven. That's okay. Sometimes you need to do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. If you need to do those 500 calories, that's completely fine. You are still fasting, you know, from the time that you are doing that. So it's good. Oh, I think on my group, on the group today, I kind of told people, oops. I told people on the group that I was really busy and wasn't sure if I'm going to be able to do very many live videos, and I feel like people thought that I wasn't going to do it today, but I am. I don't want to say I'm not going to do it the rest of the week, but kind of like I'll post on our group when I will do my live videos instead of just saying we're going to do one every day, so that way whenever something comes up and I can't stop and do a live video, that way you guys don't expect me to be here at 3. And I'm really sorry. I wanted to do a live video every day, but it's just way too much right now. I'm so overwhelmed with everything I gotta do. So we are about 15 minutes into this video now, so why don't we go ahead and start talking about chapter 7, which is part 2, prepare to fast. Oh, I guess I can answer this question. The day without my phone. If you watch my vlog, you'll see it was very emotional for me, which was weird. I woke up in a really bad mood anyway, mostly because of how crappy I ate on Saturday. And I was so mad at myself for eating the way that I did. And I told myself that I needed to fast to make up for eating so bad, and like I needed to fast 3 days because I ate just so terrible. And I was really hard on myself all day. it was, you know, I ate out 3 days or 3 times. And, you know, it was just like I don't do that very often. And like I said, it was just really hard on myself, really down on myself. And then it's like I woke up the next day and I was like, why am I going to punish myself for doing what I had to do and eating what I had to eat? And I just really took a step back and realized I can't take it that far because that's when it starts getting dangerous. So, like I said, the day without my phone, I was really emotionally hard on myself because I didn't have something to distract me from thinking all those things about myself. I wanted to paint, but all my pictures were on my phone. Reading held no interest in me. I couldn't read without losing like interest or whatever. I didn't even work out. Like it just, everything was just, it was bad. We went on a long walk, so I mean, I got an exercise, but it was just, it was hard. I don't know why. Disconnecting myself, you know, I just realized some things about myself, I guess, in a way. But you know, then I got it back on Monday and everything, and all was good. um, it's just, it was a really strange experience for sure. Yep, I'm shooting for sub 35K, then increasing distance. I'm going to do a half and a full someday. That's awesome. That's a great goal to have, David. Let's see. I'm going to try hate disconnecting from my devices. Yeah, Ian's really, he's a lot better at it than I am, you know, but social media is my job, and now I feel like I'm a whole day behind on everything because I didn't have my phone with me all day. I didn't even have my Apple Watch on or anything like that. So it was just, it was really weird for sure. Like no TV, no electronics, nothing at all. You know, it was just no music. Like, oh, I feel like that's kind of part of the reason I didn't work out was because I didn't have music, and I always like listening to music when I work out, but also just was not in a good mood. I needed that day of rest, I think. But anyway, let's move on to chapter 7. It's called Ready, Set, Goal, and it is talking basically about making goals for fasting. Let's see here. I'm trying to remember. Okay. Remember, you are not the problem. You've simply been fed incorrect information for years. But with the right knowledge, your body can heal itself. She goes into a story about her father who had high blood pressure and was on medication for it. He started fasting when he realized that, let's see, this is Eve, I believe. Yeah, Eve's husband was doing intermittent fasting and having great success. With his success, he started fasting by skipping meals and reducing his snackings, and he lost reducing his snacking, and he lost 15 pounds, which is awesome. You know, just from those little bit of changes, he was able to change his body that much. When he went to the doctor and told them that he was experiencing fasting or experiencing dizziness, his doctor basically told him immediately to stop fasting and let's see here, and but to continue eating healthy and reduce his portions. He thought it was possible that he had vertigo. Well, he was going to go to a specialist to see, and it seems suspicious to her mom that her dad had started getting vertigo. And so they basically reduced his blood pressure medication because his blood pressure had gone down so much just with fasting. And so they reduced his blood pressure medication in half and continued doing healthy eating and fasting. And then over the next week, his dizziness was gone. So he basically was starting to heal his body. And he did that with fasting. And it's really awesome how many things that fasting can do for the body. Now he's planning a trip to go skiing because he told himself when he got to a certain weight, he was going to take a trip to do that. So that was really cool, you know, just a little experience because, you know, I personally have done and do fasting for weight loss, and now it's more for the autophagy benefits behind it, but there's all those other added benefits that go behind it as well. Here's a section that I really liked about this as well, so I'm just going to go ahead and read it. It's called Lies We've All Heard About Fasting. Fasting will make you sick, and it's quite the opposite. You know, like I've told you guys before, I've been sick maybe 2 or 3 times in the past 2.5 years since starting intermittent fasting. Cancer, type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure. Fasting will cause, and this is another lie we've heard, fasting will cause your blood sugar to crash, and your body does a wonderful job of regulating blood sugar levels. So there's little chance of your body having a negative hypoglycemic response. I think that this varies per person because there are people that are hypoglycemic. Like my cousin, for example, she tried doing intermittent fasting and she couldn't. When she asked her doctor about it, he said that it was because she was hypoglycemic. So I'm kind of curious about that for some people, if it's just different for some people, you know, over others, or maybe even fasting could fix something like that. Another lie we've heard is fasting will slow down your metabolism. This is a big one. People always say, aren't you afraid that fasting will slow down your metabolism? Personally, I kind of feel like here recently, after doing my 72-hour fast, that my metabolism was raised significantly. And I say this because my appetite was going up again after doing this, but I noticed the changes in my body after coming back from the 72 hours of fasting. For example, my appetite changed completely. Like I said, I was hungry, sure, but my I didn't have to eat as big of meals anymore. I cut out my cravings. I realized too that my bloat would go down a lot faster than it was before I did the 72-hour fast. Things like that, which I just made me really happy because those are things I always worried about. Another lie we've heard is you'll die of hunger. And then they make a little joke about it, like, this is my favorite. Have you ever skipped a meal? Look what happened. You didn't die. I know this because you're reading this book. And I thought that one was kind of funny. So not true. You will not die of hunger, and you will not die of starvation. So then it says, goals start with you. If you're out of the habit of goal setting, it is time to start getting back into the groove. She basically wants you to start making goals before you start your fast. Let's see here. Goals start with yourself. If you make a goal, it's easier for you to reach it in the end. If you make your goal, you can like pin it up on your wall. You can put it in several different places so that way you can see it every day. This is very much like the vision board that we did. And she talks about how if you do that, it can kind of help keep you going for it. Let's see here. So it says this road can be bumpy sometimes, so I want you to create one very specific goal, or if you must, no more than 2, that will keep you motivated. You want to limit it to only a couple goals because if you have a lot of them, then you'll have a harder time focusing on it and feel overwhelmed, basically, is what she says. Some goals that people come up with for this whole thing, for fasting or whatever, is get off their diabetes medication, complete a triathlon, reduce your body fat percentage, get pregnant, get sick less often, stop having migraines, play with your grandkids, lose a certain amount of pounds, things like that. So my goal whenever I started fasting was to lose 50 pounds. And I hit that at like 4 months. I lost 50 pounds or something around that. 4.5 months, or no, excuse me, 5 months, I believe. Because I'd lost 62 pounds by month 6, I think. I can't remember. My brain's full of other things. I need to prioritize. But like my goal was to lose 50 pounds, and I lost that way before I originally thought I was going to, because my goal was just to lose it in a year, and I lost it in half of that, which was awesome. Let's see. And you always want to say you will at the beginning of each goal. And you can say it silently in your head. But like I said, when we made our vision boards, we talked about writing down our goals and everything. Like, I will do this, I will do this, being specific. So that way when you see it, you're putting it out there into reality. And it's easier to follow them that way. But you can't just name them, you need to create a plan to achieve them. So what can you do to achieve those goals to be healthier? For one reason, you could do your fasting. And then they talk about motivation. So what motivates you? And they talk about two different kinds of motivation as well. I think it's intrinsic and extrinsic. I feel like I'm saying that wrong. I don't feel like I'm saying that correctly. But anyways, let's see. Goals and the motivations behind them are as relative and dynamic as the people who set them. So it doesn't matter if your objective is I can't even talk today. Those goals. It matters if your goal is powerful to you. And then really they just talk about really hammering out and being on those goals or whatever. And then overcoming bad habits and bad times. And this kind of reminded me a little bit of, thank you. And this kind of reminds me a little bit of emotional eating, kind of something that was something that we've all kind of had issues with. I've been having issues with as well. Let's see here. There was one part in here that I want to go back on because I just looked down at my notes. Let's see if I can find it. I wrote down, where is it? Reaching your goal may not be fast or stress-free, but nothing worthwhile ever comes easy, which I think is a great way that, you know, people are always like, well, how much did you lose? How fast is it? You know, how long did it take for you to lose? And it's like, it took me a year to lose 98 pounds. Like, I didn't lose it quickly, but you don't want to lose it any faster, because odds of you keeping it off if you lose it much faster is, you know, it's a little harder. Anyways, going back to where we were. So our motivation for weight loss success can often be derailed by bad habits or life's unexpected curveballs. For example, my emotional eating can throw me off from my fasting. We turn back to old dietary habits, which necessarily I don't turn back to old habits like that as much as, you know, during my emotional days, I tend to break my fast if I'm having a hard time. So this is kind of a way to get you to motivate yourself to not break your fast, or to get out of those emotions or whatever it might be. Let's see here. What's her name? Eve or Megan? Megan talks about how she carries around a picture of herself in a bikini on her 21st birthday because that's one of her goals. Let's see. Or she carries around her blood test results that diagnosed her with type 2 diabetes because she was able to reverse that, and carrying around that piece of paper when she feels herself wanting to turn back to those bad habits, she pulls those out and she's like, I will not go back to this again. I kind of like that in a way because having something visual to be like, this is where I was at this point in my life because of what I was doing before, and I will not go back to this again. It's a good way to motivate yourself to keep moving forward. Some ways to motivate yourself was to go online and read testimonies from people who've reached their weight loss goals, or health goals. Listen to podcasts and save motivating ones for when you need an extra kick. Read books about fasting and write down pages that inspire you for future reference. Carry around a note to yourself about why you're doing it, so you can read it when you're tempted to break your fast on a stressful day. And keeping old blood test results to inspire you to stay on course. Let's see here. I'm trying to think of where. When you lose sight of your goals. Oh, excuse me. When I get to a place where my usual goals aren't providing sufficient motivation, what am I even, I'm making up new words. When I get to a place where my usual goals aren't providing sufficient motivation, I recall the feelings I had during dark times in my life, and I think about how many cancers are associated with obesity. She's referring to the fact that she was diagnosed with cervical cancer and had surgeries to get rid of it before she'd started fasting. Let's see. I started sharing the strategy with my clients, and I was surprised to see how many of them are motivated by fear. So a lot of people are motivated by fear, and I can see that, especially right now during this time in our lives. She talks about a client who had a hip problem and had to lose weight and to like keep herself from having more hip issues going forward. And because of that fear of having those issues with her hip moving forward, she started fasting or whatever and started using that motivation of fear of having hip issues to keep her on track and keep her motivated to stay where she needed to be. And then also she talks about you can also visualize negative outcomes, like your doctor delivering news to you that you've been diagnosed with something like type 2 diabetes. Whether you're imagining happy or sad experiences, visualization engages your senses and your emotions in a powerful way that will keep you focused on your goals. So that's kind of one reason why I really like making the vision board that we did, because it helps you keep your eye on the prize. I hope you guys, if you made them, are able to use them and you look at them and it's helping you kind of stay on your goal, because I know that for me it always really helps to have something like that. Let's see. One of the biggest struggles I have with clients is that they often have too many goals, and because of that, they want to dive into a fasting program before they've had a chance to prepare for it. So she talks about prioritizing your goals. If you want to lose 150 pounds, reverse your diabetes, and avoid Alzheimer's that runs in your family, they're great goals, but they can't all be achieved at one time. So you want to prioritize them. Like, what is going to kill you first? How strong is your fasting muscle? She talks about like how strong is your willpower to lose or do whatever it is that you might want to do with fasting. So most are aware they need to lose weight in order to reverse their diabetes, which will result in a reduction in the number of medications they take. If they don't beat that, they're putting out themselves for a higher risk of other things. So therefore, diabetes is a disease that may kill them first, and that's what they need to focus on first and foremost. So putting those prioritizing what your goals are. So my first goal whenever I started would have been to lose the 50 pounds. After losing the 50 pounds, my next goal was to get down to 130 pounds, which I did hit. And then as I have started, whenever I hit that, I was like, I don't like how my body looks. I don't have any muscle. I feel too scrawny. I feel too small. I want curves. I miss having curves. So my next goal after that, which is kind of the one that I'm working on, is to get stronger and to gain my curves back. And now, right now, my goal is to work on the autophagy benefits behind intermittent fasting. So that is why I do my prolonged fast every other day, because it's helping heal the loose skin that I have. And if you guys were on the 95 days of fasting group, you saw the picture that I posted, and it is working. And that was kind of a motivation for me to keep going, because my skin is healing from February to now, or however many weeks ago I took that picture. So it's like I know the autophagy is working, and I just have to keep that in my mind, and that is one reason why I'm continuing to do what I do to help heal my loose skin that I have. Eager people can't and shouldn't dive into something as intense as an all-day fast. So they talk about working your way up, which is kind of what I tell people to do. You know, if you need to eat 500 calories on your fasting day, do that. If you want to start out by doing 16-8 every day, you can do that as well. Or however it is that you want to dive into your fasting protocol. Many people haven't fasted for longer than 12 hours for a blood test before, so fasting for 24 hours straight right off the bat isn't going to be an easy task. With priorities, you can focus, which may help an impatient person proceed into fasting slowly. You may choose to skip breakfast 2 non-consecutive days in a week, then increase the frequency bit by bit, yada yada yada. So she encourages you to write down a list of your goals and prioritize them. the most successful people concentrate on one thing at a time. So that way, because they know trying to do too many at once will inevitably lead to failure because you're like overwhelming yourself with all your goals. You don't want to take any chances on your health, so be patient and consistent. If you are, you will reach your goals. So there we go. That is the chapter 7 of Life in the Fasting Lane by Dr. Jason Fung, Eve Mayer, and Megan Ramos. It looks like this. I saw some questions pop up there that I didn't stop to answer just because you guys know I gotta focus on one thing at a time. I can't read questions too, but I'll scroll up and see what all we have. It didn't seem like too many came in while I was reading though. I'm sorry about my voice. I have like really bad vocal fry right now, but I'm trying to keep kind of quiet because Ian's also working in the other room, and when I do that, it makes my voice sound really bad, and I apologize. Let me see if I can find where we left off. Somebody asked what my workout routine is. My workout routine. It changes every other day. I do strength training 3 days of the week and cardio 3 days of the week, basically. My cardio days kind of switch up back and forth. On my cardio days, I focus on either my lower body or my upper body. I make sure that I always get in some kind of ab workout as well on either one of those days. And then I also kind of do a one exercise on a specific muscle group. So for example, today is going to be my upper body workout day. And then I kind of switched it up a little bit here recently, which I'm liking a lot more, but today is a or an upper body day. So the one exercise that I will do for my lower body would be, I think I'm going to do, what was those? I can't even think of what they're called. Cable kickbacks, basically. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to work on my abs, and then I'm going to work on my upper body. The other workout, or the other way that I work out on my other day whenever I work on my lower body, is I would do one exercise that works on my upper body, do my ab workout, and then work on my lower body. So I typically do anywhere from 5 to 6 exercises on the big muscle group that I'm working. So for example, I'll do 5 to 6 exercises today on my upper body, the one on my lower body, and then an ab circuit as well, and then on the other day it's reversed, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what I do. That way I'm getting, kind of everything worked on at one time, and help strengthening myself, and I really like what I've been doing recently, so definitely paying off. Were you able to sleep the 3rd? That was so long ago, I can't answer that for you, but I'm pretty sure I was able to. So did I lose a lot of hair after fasting? I did not actually. I know some people have lost hair when doing intermittent fasting. I believe one of our fellow followers on the group says that it's because of her diet. It could also be just how fast you're losing weight too. If you're not getting enough protein, things like that will have you lose your hair a little bit faster. But everybody's different. It's so strange because I want everybody to understand that everybody's different, and just because something works for me, or I might not have experienced something, that doesn't mean that it might, necessarily work for you, or you may experience whatever it might be, if that makes sense. Nothing worth having ever comes easy, for sure. Yes. How many days can you fast doing 500 calories? I think somebody answered that for you. One thing I've noticed about fasting is my belly fat is softening up. Hopefully that's a good thing. I can't ever get a direct answer if it's good or not, or generally reliable info on this. When you say your belly fat is softening up, maybe you are developing loose skin, and that's why it's a little softer. That could be a reason. That's kind of what my whole issue is right now, is I have loose skin and it's soft and it hangs. But if I was full of more fat, then it would be a little harder. I'm a late person. Hey, Mom. Amy. Oh my gosh, I cannot talk today. Eating 500 calories a day is different from fasting. Fasting 100% can give you go longer without hurting yourself. But eating 500 calories still does not hurt yourself. It's just considered a dirty fast. I believe Fasting Gal calls it. You can eat 500 calories on your fasting days as a clutch if needed, but you're going to get the most results on fasting if you can go without it. It will break your um, autophagy, it'll raise your insulin, so it will break your fast. So if anything, it'd be kind of considered like just eating lower calories on those days. So I always say if you have to do 500 calories, that is okay. Like we said, that's considered a dirty fast, but hopefully after doing it for a couple weeks, you'll be able to break from doing that. Found you all again. This challenge has been a blessing. I lost almost 25 pounds, plus it's helped me feel connected with the world. Oh, yay. That's exciting. Didn't get what food drink do you struggle with the most? What food or drink addiction do you struggle with the most? That's a good one. I can't really think of anything that I struggle with anymore. Honestly, um, probably whipped peanut butter. It's my absolute favorite thing. I love whipped peanut butter so much. I can eat a whole jar of it. But that would probably be the biggest struggle. And when I did my 72 hours of fasting, it cut all my cravings. And I don't really crave anything anymore, which is great because I used to have to sit down after dinner every night and eat something sweet. And now I don't feel like that's even necessary, which is awesome. And if I do sit down and have something like that, it's not something that I constantly crave after having it, which is really great. Really great. Mm. Do you ever have rest days? I feel like you work out every day. I do have rest days. Usually one day a week I'll rest. This last week it was 2 though, but I do try to work out 6 days a week. I try to be very active. I think softening belly fat is fat being mobilized, getting it ready to be burned. Yeah, but don't do it for a long period of fasting with 500, otherwise your BMR is going to go down. I think they meant that if you just ate 500 a day for an extended period of time, that would not be good. Oh, do you think fasting affects thyroid function? I don't think so. If anything, it might actually help your thyroid. I have not got that far, but I don't know enough information about that. Oh, I think fasting helps the thyroid. May be different for everyone, but it helped me with mine. There we go. Pizza is a big struggle for Ian, or Rachel because of Ian. Yeah, it's not that much that, like, if he eats pizza, I don't have to have it. The other night, though, he got, like, the best takeout pizza in our area, and so I had to have it. How long is too long doing 500 calories? I wouldn't go more than 2 weeks if needed. And that's just on your fasting days. If you're going to be eating 500 calories a day, that's not good. That's going to lower your basal metabolic rate. That's not enough calories to get you through a day. You're not even eating enough to help your basic functions of your body. So I think that you definitely need to make sure that you're eating up to your total daily energy expenditure on your eat days. And if you're going to do 500 calories on your fasting day, that's going to be best for you. Losing the 25 pounds seemed a miracle due to my age 80. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. My kids think I have lost my mind when I tell them I did the challenge to just fill my time. That's amazing though. I noticed my belly fat softening too because my gut used to be like raw. It also could be a reduce in bloat. Like my friend Hannah that you guys all know that I've had her on a couple of videos. She pops up on here every once in a while, which she actually just went back to work, so she won't be able to come on these anymore. But she's noticed a huge change. She has IBS due to lactose, so she can't eat dairy or anything anymore. She cut that out of her diet completely, and her bloat has reduced so much, and she's losing weight. So I think too, it can depend on the types of food that you're eating. How much weight loss in a month? In the beginning, I lost 16 pounds in the first month. The next it was 9. the one after that it was 12. I feel like people can probably quote me on that now because I've said it so many times, but it changes every month. I'm finding rather calorie restriction, just cutting out all sugar and carbs will make you drastically cut belly fat. There you go. That kind of sounds like a keto in a way. Cutting out sugar and carbs will make you cut belly fat. It could be from below. Congrats to everyone on their weight loss. Agreed. Side note, anybody from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, or know of anything in Gatlinburg, Tennessee that Ian and I can do, because we decided that's where we're going to go on our honeymoon. And we're going to hold off on Oregon for probably a year, unfortunately. Thank you, Lisa. I think the group for being available to help keep me in line. It is nice. But there's a burn line up alcohol, carbs, fat. Burn line up alcohol, carbs, fat. I still think I can eat what I want when I want, and I'll just eat it in moderation. But I want to eat healthy now. Like, and that's the most exciting part about this whole journey to me, is because I've changed my mindset so much on the food that I eat that I want to eat healthy. And that is something that I really love about it. Somebody said, what's your target weight? I don't have a target weight anymore. I actually took off my starting weight and my goal and my current weight on Instagram because I don't think that it's as important to me anymore. I don't really care what the number on the scale says anymore, and people are going to say, oh, well, you're probably saying that because you're gaining back weight. I'm not gaining, if I am gaining back weight, it's because it's muscle, it's not because it's fat. But people associate weight gain with fat, and I just don't think that that is important anymore. Like, my goal is to be happy and healthy, and that is what it is. And I'm still losing fat. Autophagy is working for me. I'm getting stronger every day, so that's my goal. Thank you, Lisa. I think the group, blah, blah, blah. This group is amazing. Yes, you may have answered this before. What was your motivation to start this journey? My motivation was to go from the 236 pounds down that I was to being healthier and happier, which I've really reached that goal. So my motivation to start was being able to go out in nature and do hiking and walks and stuff like that with my fiance without feeling like I was dying. It was about a year after Ian and I had been dating, and I realized how out of shape I was. I couldn't even walk 2 miles without being miserable. And I was like, something has to change because I'm not healthy. And my life is, I was 20, let's see, I would have been like 23 at the time, I think, when I started. And I didn't want to live my life like that for the rest of my life. Like, I was probably the heaviest I'd ever been. So shoot, just body will choose to burn alcohols first, then carbs, then fat. Oh, okay, thank you. Going by physical muscle and body type. Eek, yay, I didn't notice you had to remove that from your Instagram. Love it. Yes, I did. And I've had a couple people ask me why I had, and I've just told them, like, I don't weigh myself every day anymore. I don't feel like there's a point in doing that and posting it every day because of that. And like I said, people are so fixated on the scale, in the way that if I were to start posting when my weight would go up, or if my weight goes up, that they're going to associate that back with fat and not muscle. And not that I should care what anybody thinks, but you guys know I'm a people person. So, it's just a way to kind of show my transformation. I'm actually planning on making a video too about things that have changed. So you're transforming your body into toned and strong. I know, and it's exciting, and I love it. The lower your insulin, the faster your body switches to using fat source. So quit sugar and carbs, or use low carbs. That makes sense. It does. I still like carbs though, and I still lost 108 pounds doing it. So that is for sure a way. That's how the keto works, by lowering your carbs. My why is to look, feel better, and get pregnant. Like Rachel said, it's not about a goal weight. Plus, it's just a number. I started measuring myself, and it's been motivating to see. See, that's awesome. Good. You try water fasting. Yes, I did the 72 hours of fasting with just water. You do look more muscular, which is excellent. Thank you. I appreciate that. I am. I actually did a 125-pound hip thrust for the first time the other day, and I'm going to try to up my weights and stuff tonight on my upper body. Oh, I could not talk. You do inspire. Thank you. I lost 58 pounds eating all my carbs and did ADF. See, that's, one thing that I think is awesome about it. Like, I lost my 98 pounds within the first year. I lost the 108 pounds eating what I wanted, and that included carbs and fats and everything. So I think it's, maybe some people can't, like they say in the book, some people, carbs affect them differently than other people. And, that's just the way people are. Everybody's different. I mean, you did not have to pay me. Can we eat multivitamins? I believe so. Can we eat vitamins and mineral supplements on fasting days? I think so. I'm not 100% sure about vitamins and stuff like that, but I was taking a B complex and an elderberry supplement on my fasting days and was still fine. So, but oh yeah, you're right. So, like, if you guys want to supply my honeymoon fund, I'm so excited. Not the vitamins with oils in them, like omegas. Okay, cool. I don't know what my weight is in that. Like I said, I haven't weighed myself in a long time. So I don't even know what my weight is at this point in my life, and it doesn't matter to me what it is. I actually found these at the store too, which you guys know I'm weird on tea. These Zevia teas. Yeah, don't eat the gummy vitamins with sugar. Like the sugar-coated elderberry gummies. What? Anyways, they're tasty. I know they're like candy. That's why we gotta stay away from. For those of you who are kind of in this now, sorry, things coming in. For those of you who have come in now, I kind of told everybody earlier that from going forward, the live videos are going to be announced. I don't think I'm going to do them every day anymore just because I have 17 videos that I need to record, and I have some other work that I need to do as well. And since I've been doing the Instacart stuff in the morning, I'm usually gone from my house until noon. And then from noon until bedtime, I'm so busy doing things, and I really need to spend more time with Ian at night before bed and stay off my phone and things like that. So I really need to start focusing on those things as well. So I'm going to start announcing when the live videos are instead of just coming on here at 3 o'clock every day. Just a little FYI for you guys. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there. I mean, technically you can take any vitamin you want or need to take during a fast, especially if it's something prescribed from a doctor. That comes before fasting. I agree with you. Does Life in the Fasting Lane mention what book? I don't know yet. I think somebody might answer that. Oh, 80 to 120 geek. Okay, I guess she knew. I like the fact that you do not focus on weight, rather focus on feeling the way you want to feel. Yeah, and see, that's the thing that I struggled with a lot in the beginning, but I'm coming to terms with my body and how it's different than everybody else. I am my own body, I'm my own person, and I just really wanting to focus on those things instead of focusing on trying to make everybody happy with trying to be a certain way, if that makes sense, because I'm me and that's it. You think no, I will never be a size 0. I'm a size 4'6". Sorry, my teen sisters. I'm so proud of you kept at and doing pull. Thanks. Do you work out on a fasted stomach. I do actually. I work out at night, later at night, so that way after I'm done working out for the evening, I can just kind of relax and chill before going to bed. But I do work out on a fasted stomach. I like the way I work. I like the way I feel when I work out while fasting, and I know that I'm burning, you know, more that way. I need to go now and work a bit. Oh, I hope work went well for you, by the way. I know you started back yesterday. I need to go back and work a bit. Thanks for your time and stay safe. I'm less than 24 hours away from completing my 72-hour fast. I'm so proud of you. Keep at it. You got this. I know you do, so yay. Hey. Bye. What would be one thing you would tell us that struggle during fasting those last 2 hours, and what is your go-to meal when you know you are hungry? I ran my 5K fasted and I feel like, oh, wow. I think I actually did that too, though. Sorry, I'll answer your question in a second, Hope. But my first 5K that I did was a zombie run 5K, and it was a fasting day for me, and I ran that. But I was not nearly as good at running 5Ks then than I am now. So that was kind of cool. But anyway, what would be one thing you would tell us that struggle during fasting those last 2 hours, and what is your go-to meal when you know you're hungry? My go-to meal when I'm hungry is steak or salmon with a salad and sweet potato, probably. I'm a steak and potato girl, 100%. I'm from the Midwest, and that's my go-to meal. It's full of protein, and it will help keep me full, and it's low carb, so it's nice. And then the last 2 hours, if you're struggling, try not to watch the clock. But if you need to watch the clock, it might help push you through. Chug that water. Try drinking some coffee if you like coffee, or tea, to kind of help fill you up and get you through those last 2 hours. How many days do you continue this journey? It's unannounced. I have no idea. How are you? I'm good, thank you. When your body gets more fat adapted, running will become more effective, especially if you're aiming for longer distance. Nice. I actually think that I was pretty fat adapted there for a while, and I feel like I kind of knocked myself out whenever I ate so crappy this last Saturday. But my appetite's kind of returned back to where it was before then. Like today, last night for dinner, I had a really big meal. I had steak and potatoes and a salad. And today I woke up, I was not bloated. I felt super slim, which is really good because I was feeling so bad from Saturday. But I think that I jumped back into it a lot faster now after doing that 72-hour fast, which is something they actually talk about in the Life in the Past Being Lane book, I think. Is that where they talked about it? I can't remember if it was that or on the life fasting tracker. I think you lost that weight eating whatever because you counted calories. I guess some people just prefer to count macros while others don't count at all and still lose. Yeah, see, that's true. But I'm okay with counting calories. That's my preferred method, and I like doing it that way. Should you eat all your calories even if you're not hungry on your eat days? That's something that I personally kind of struggle with too. Last night I didn't, but it was because of the foods that I ate that helped fill me up. You know, you don't want to make yourself eat if you're not hungry, is the big thing. It's not necessary. And then that way it's kind of like if you end up being hungry on your fasting day because you didn't eat all those calories, it's something that I kind of bounce back and forth with